Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? The tag team is back again to talk about another WWE major event this weekend. I am the host of the wrestling side, Dallas Glenn, and to the other side of me is Darnell, the Playmaker Sallins. How you doing, Darnell?
I'm good. Hey, everybody, he finally admitted what Super Showdown is.
No. And I am so glad that you led into it and fell into the trap. Darnell, I want to read you off a card. I'm going to read you a card from a major event that happened this year, and I want you to tell me if it was a TV show, a house show, or a pay-per-view. Are you ready?
Yep.
Bobby Lashley defeats Jinder Mahal. Cedric Alexander defeats Buddy Murphy for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt defeat Titus O'Neil and Apollo Crews with Dana Brooke and Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, the B team, in a triple threat match to retain the Raw Tag Team Championship. Bayley, Ember Moon, and Natalya defeat Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan, and Alicia Fox. Mojo Rawley defeats Bobby Roode in a singles match. Dolph Ziggler with Drew McIntyre defeats Seth Rollins and Finn Balor in a triple threat match to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Kalisto, Grand Metalik, and Lindsay Dorado defeat Drew Gulak, Jack Gallagher, and Brian Kendrick in a six-man tag. Ronda Rousey defeats Nia Jax. Alexa Bliss is the special referee. Undertaker, Braun Strowman, and Roman Reigns in the main event defeat Kevin Owens, Elias, and Baron Corbin. TV house show pay-per-view.
And TV show. That's for sure. It should. That sounds like a pay-per-view. But I watched all the pay-per-views, so it has to be a house show. Our process of elimination.
You are correct. And guess which house show it was?
Which one was that?
That was this year's Madison Square Garden show.
They ain't televised that.
I'm going to read you the card for Saturday. After what you just said, the sentence you literally just said, I'm going to read you the card for Saturday that is airing at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you tell me with a straight face, this is a pay-per-view. Triple H versus The Undertaker. We know who the managers are. Bobby Lashley and John Cena versus Elias and Kevin Owens. Daniel Bryan versus The Miz, number one contender match. The Shield versus Braun Strowman, Dolph Ziggler, and Drew McIntyre. Need to mention that the Universal, Intercontinental, and Raw Tag Team Championships are held up in this match and not being defended. So that's 3 championships not being defended so far. The Bella Twins and Ronda Rousey versus the Wyatt Squad. That's 4 championships being held up and not defended because of tag matches. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. No countout, no DQ. Gotta be a winner. Cedric Alexander versus Buddy Murphy, which, if I remember correctly, if I go back to the other tab, happened at the MSG house show for the Cruiserweight Championship. New Day versus The Bar for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Asuka and Naomi versus the Iconics. And Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Darnell, first off, which one of those 2 cards is better to you? Undertaker's on both. The Universal title ain't defended on both. Actually, one of the tag team championships isn't being defended on either. One had 2 women's championships not defended. This one has at least 1 tag team women's championship defended. And yeah, one of the matches that was supposed to be advertised for the December 26th show is happening at this show, which is why they always say card is subject to change.
So, the Madison Square Garden one, they didn't hype up. They didn't let nobody know. Unless you was in New York. Australia, everybody knows about. They gave the Australian one a pay-per-view feel. And, matter of fact, Madison Square Garden, who did Undertaker go against?
Undertaker was in a 6-man tag with Roman and Braun, who at the time were like the 2 hot baby faces. And then when it gets Kevin Owens, Elias, and Corbin.
That was the main event.
Yeah. Like, Undertaker was at this show. First off, that's in and of itself, why wasn't this show televised? You're wasting Undertaker's last few bumps, and yeah, that went on last.
That was a sorry main event.
Ain't it? I mean, but it's Taker, dude. What are you gonna do? Like, I'm surprised that. I mean, Wikipedia obviously doesn't have the match order correct, but I mean, you have to wonder where the Triple H Undertaker card match is going to be on the card on Saturday. But
that should be the main event.
I'm worried though, because you got the Intercontinental Champion and the Universal.
I can't disagree with the Shield being in the main
event. But it's weird though, because you say that's a sorry main event, and yeah, it's the Shield, but a 6-man tag over a world title match where there has to be a winner, and what's supposed to be a pay-per-view.
Pretty much, they have 3 matches that can be main events. So which one gets the short stick is the question. If I had to choose a main event for me, it would be the WWE Championship.
I agree, because I mean, one's a special, one's a spotlight match, and one, I mean, dude, there's 3 championships being held up. We're not freebirding the tag championships. We're not having one of those crazy whoever pins whoever champion. Like, dude, like, we got 3 championships in one match being held up. Like, that's not a main event. That's a rivalry match.
And one thing I learned from looking at the past few, whatever the headline match is, not the pay-per-view. So Undertaker Triple H might not be the main event.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because WWE's style is almost as if Vince knows that the check is already cleared. So he just does the card how he needs to. And I mean, that's a fine promoting style. I mean, once the asses are in the seats, it is what it is. But again, it's like, okay, you have 4 opportunities for a title change. Now, obviously, the MSG show, as we've both established and you were correct in, was a house show. Even though the year before AJ Styles won the U.S. Championship at the MSG show, and even though like way back in 2007, Epico and Primo won the tag team championships, and way before then, Nunzio beat Juventud, like, dude, those are rare occurrences for championships to change hands. That being said, I know we've gone through pay-per-views this year. It was weird when we saw it because technically it's already free because you pay your $10 somewhere on the month. Unless you pay your $10, the day of the pay-per-view is not really a pay-per-view. There have been traditional pay-per-views where a title didn't change hands, but Darnell, you got the Cruiserweight Championship and the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. Those are the ones that probably have the highest probability to change hands, especially considering the New Day are champions because the Bludgeon Brothers got hurt. If a title doesn't change hands, seriously, in retrospect, is there any argument for this really have been a pay-per-view?
I mean, when you hype something up like that, it to me it just says pay-per-view.
So they don't hype up the Madison Square Garden show? Because here's the thing with the Madison Square Garden show, and here's why I'm so stuck on this point. Ring of Honor and New Japan are going to hold a major event. They're going to televise this event. They're going to stream this event. They're co-branding this event because they know that they both couldn't get it done alone politically. Vince McMahon has already blocked Ring of Honor doing Madison Square Garden once. Vince McMahon is very, very touchy about Madison Square Garden. That show is special to him. It's one of the few house shows where WWE just doesn't post videos of entrances. They actually post highlights. They actually post things that happen from that show. The MSG show, and this is why I'm so confused. If you're gonna hype up a live event, if you're gonna hype up a house show and make it more than what it is, A, why would you do this the first time for something that comes on at 5 a.m. Eastern? And why wouldn't you do it for the most popular venue in the world? They treat the Madison Square Garden show like a special show, but they don't put it on the network. So you tell me just because a house show's on the network, it's a pay-per-view?
It's an exclusive show. I'm thinking.
Now, if you say exclusive show,
could it be that in Vince's mind, he probably don't need to hype up Madison Square Garden because it's in New York. New York is like probably the biggest market in the country.
Now, here's the thing. You say that, and you're right, because back when it was the territories, New York was WWE's territory. They had like New York, New England. So you're right, in a sense. But that complacency bit him in the ass because he had to go around and block Ring of Honor. Then Ring of Honor came back with New Japan, and they were able to get the venue booked. So now people notice that complacency, and now two other promotions are doing a joint show, and Vince is touchy about it. They stopped reporting about it because it wasn't the hot story and they weren't getting any bites. But dude, like that's it. Vince blocked Ring of Honor himself. Like it. What do you expect to happen if you get complacent like that? Why would you have a show like, dude, the Knicks have one of the only reasons the Knicks even sell tickets. One of the reasons why the Knicks are even relevant right now. One of the reasons why the Knicks won't ever leave is because of MSG. The Knicks aren't going to be like the Nets. The Knicks aren't going to be like any other team because it's like, dude, like they're going to be in New York. Whether they tear the MF down, whether they renovate the MF. The Knicks are going to be associated with MSG, whether they have a new house or not. The Knicks are never leaving because of the history they have with that venue. They're always going to be a New York team. That's what that venue means. And to have a show there every year, you have a show there every year, and you make it special every year. And people talk about performing in MSG every year. And you go to Australia and you air a show at 5 a.m. Exclusive event, yes. Now, exclusive, special event, first time ever. That I can agree with because all those things are true. It is exclusive to the WWE Network because USA and Fox ain't going to air nothing like that at 5 a.m. on a Saturday. It is a special event because they have hyped it up. And this is one of the biggest events in Australian history, so good for them. It is a first-time ever live event because first time they're televising an Australian event, obviously because of time zone differences. And yeah, you could just tell they're making a big push in the Australian market, partly because New Japan is. So
you know what makes me feel like this is a pay-per-view besides them hyping it up?
What?
They already got another pay-per-view set for Saudi Arabia.
Okay, so Saudi Arabia buys them $100 million bag, and that makes this a pay-per-view.
As you can see, I think they probably already planning another event in Australia.
Saudi Arabia has oil under the goddamn pavement. They're going to do whatever they need to. They're getting bags from Saudi Arabia. Of course they're gonna go back. This is a publicly traded company, Darnell. If the bag is there, they're going to do it. That doesn't mean it's a pay-per-view. In wrestling, in WWE history, pay-per-views are Sunday nights.
If you don't want to call it pay-per-view, let's call it, what can we call it then?
It would have to be a WWE Network exclusive. That's literally what it is. Because when you think about it, like...
Special.
Yeah,
WWE special.
It's just that. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm looking at the card and I'm looking at the go home shows on TV this week, and it's almost like frustrating. We have one of the best Raws, and forever. I think some people on Twitter, they're just so scarred by Raw, they're so jaded by Raw that they don't understand when a good Raw happened. This past week's Raw felt like one of those old school 80s shows. I felt like I was watching some old tape from the 80s. When the babyface champion won, the crowd popped, and it was a super loud ovation and cheer. The heel came out and said all the babyfaces won't get to defend their championships, and the crowd got confused and mad. They did a thing where they made fun of the city not having a basketball team, and they booed for 10 minutes.
You know what? That's what you get started right there. Elias, Kevin Owens versus John Cena and Bobby Lashley. Because what Elias did, he
10
hit
minutes.
more than a nerve in Seattle.
He kicked everybody yeah. He hurt some feelings.
I mean, I went back to replay it, and them boos did not stop.
I hope WWE didn't edit it out of their YouTube video because them boos were hellacious.
They were upset.
And they got louder every time they tried to talk over them. Like they were actively doing.
So people made this poll which one was better, that boo versus the Roman Reigns boo. I thought long and hard about it. If we're talking about pure disrespect, you give it to Elias. But if you're just talking about how the crowd that's reacted to a certain person, Roman Reigns. Dude, I was there the night after WrestleMania. I was at the Amway Center. I was there. He came out to boos. He got in the ring, they was booing. He grabbed the mic. Every time he put the mic to his face, they were booing. Roman Reigns literally had to wait 15 minutes to finally say a word, and he was getting booed so much they just gave him a one sentence liner and left.
I mean,
I've never in my life seen a show start off like that. He literally had to wait 15 minutes, and I'm pretty sure he had a long promo. I'm pretty sure he had a good promo that's supposed to take by a good. When Monday Night usually kick out, take by what, a good 20 minutes to get a promo?
Yeah, they usually give the first segment about 25, 30 minutes.
Dude, 15 minutes was him had to listen to the booth because he couldn't say nothing. Off real. And he had to say a one sentence line and just go to the back.
It's weird because, like, I remember you were there, but I watched it. And, like, it's weird because there's so many factors to that poll question. Like, the first factor is Elias has been getting cheered a lot lately. Everybody knows Elias isn't a good guy. He's a bad guy. I don't know what's going on in the writing room. All I know is that Elias hasn't been booed for a minute. Like, even when he gets cheered at first and he does the little city thing, it's just a little, we'll give you that boo because, you said something about us. But, dude, like, it almost looked like the crowd was visibly messing up the segment. Like, by the time that Leo Rush came out, it seemed like they kind of just sent him out there because they knew they weren't going to get any of that segment back. Then Leo Rush slipped up and almost started getting booed. Like, the sad thing is, Leo Rush almost slipped up and got booed. Elias and Kevin Owens, their segment got ruined. And when Bobby Lashley came out, the crowd just went quiet because it was like, oh, you're not John Cena. I mean, if you're thinking of heels go out, heels get nuclear heat, heels can't finish their segment, it's Elias. Easy. Like, it's almost as if you have to give him weighted credit because him and Kevin Owens are actually heels.
Yeah, if you're talking about heels, it's definitely a lot because Roman Reigns, he wasn't a heel. The crowd has made him a heel.
And that's the sad thing. Like, you almost have to wait and give extra credit to Elias and Owens because Roman getting booed, he got booed for all the wrong reasons. Like, the question is valid. The debate you can have about it is valid, but dude, like, all the reasons that Roman Reigns incident happened were wrong. Like, that ain't what they wanted. They can say everything about the whole he gets a reaction and it's crazy and but I mean, if Roman Reigns was on the Independents and he was a promotion's top babyface and he was getting booed every time he came out, but he's the babyface, he ain't about to be the top babyface no more.
You know why? When it comes to that, I give it to Roman Reigns is because it wouldn't matter what happened in that match at WrestleMania. Either he was gonna get booed or he was gonna get mocked. Either way.
Yeah, because that's after the Undertaker match, right?
Yes, he was in for it either way.
And that's another thing, because it's like that was a passing of the torch match. But as far as you trying to have Roman Reigns be the next John Cena, what did him being the Undertaker in the main event of WrestleMania really accomplish? What was it supposed to accomplish? I mean, if anything, Roman supercharged that spear. I remember he ran the rope 3 times before he speared Undertaker that final time for the pin. He kill shotted Undertaker. How was that a babyface win? Looked like Undertaker was about to retire.
So we thought.
That dude, that's probably why Undertaker ain't in retirement. I mean, it's probably one of the reasons. I mean, the heat that he got, if it went down that Roman Reigns really retired Undertaker, oh, bruh. See, Shawn Michaels and Ric Flair, it was different. Because Ric Flair knew what he was doing, and they promoted it as Ric Flair knowing exactly what he was doing. But Shawn Michaels is Shawn Michaels. And in their primes and at their ages at that point, Shawn would have had Ric Flair maybe 8 out of 10 days, 5 out of 7 days if we're talking about working every day, every week. So, I mean, when Shawn Michaels super kicked Ric Flair, the way they had him say, "I'm sorry," and the way that they did the super kick in the pin, it was just, there's no way Shawn could have came out getting booed because of just the way that they did it. But like, and then when Undertaker retired Shawn, because Undertaker, when Undertaker needs to, like we saw on Monday, Undertaker can be that guy.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference. You had Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. Both of them was already legends at that point in time.
Yeah, and you kind of knew.
It didn't matter. Same thing with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Both legends. It didn't matter.
But Roman Reigns is just, it's like he's not an up-and-comer, but at the same time, it's like
he's not a legend.
You don't even know if he should really have the WrestleMania match if he's not defending a championship. You're talking non-title match at WrestleMania main eventing. And he goes over against The Undertaker in the last match. Like, and if I remember correctly, it was like, it was WWE Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, Universal Championship, then them. So you got like, you got 3 straight title matches going on. Then Roman goes on, and he makes Undertaker look like he retired. Like, what was supposed to happen the night after?
Anyway, let's get back to card at hand. Elias and Kevin have to win this match because it don't make no sense if John Cena come back, gets a win, and leaves again.
Yeah, that's. And then it's Bobby Lashley. I mean, God,
I'm a Bobby Lashley fan. I like Bobby Lashley. I want him to always win, but in this situation, it's like you partner with somebody. You partner with somebody who that's going to be there for that night, and he's going to go back doing whatever he was doing before.
The crazy thing is, John Cena, like now that he's not the top guy, John Cena doesn't mind taking a job. John Cena would not mind going to a show in Australia and taking the pin. I firmly believe that. Like, what other reason besides hyping up this event is John Cena there in that tag match? John Cena ain't going one-on-one with Kevin Owens. He's not going one-on-one with Elias. He's not going one-on-one with Lashley. He is in a tag team match with 3 active competitors who still have to go on TV this upcoming Monday. They still got to go to TV on Monday. John can go back to China. He's got, if Lashley takes the pin and John doesn't, what's the point of that match? You want to make Lashley look like the weak link and John's gonna leave and go back to China right after his match? John's got to be there to take the pin. He's there to help out with the event, but he has to take the pin. It doesn't make any sense. How does that feud move forward if John Cena hits an attitude adjustment and pins somebody and then leaves. Like, how is that feud supposed to work after? I'm not saying Lio Rush should be in that match. I'm just saying if Lashley's team is supposed to win, at least Lio Rush will be on TV on Monday.
I think Lio Rush going to be in Australia, right?
Well, he's the manager, so yeah. I mean, and that's like Drake Maverick. I can understand because he doesn't look that small because he's standing next to AOP. Dude, he is that small. Like, I was paying attention to his career back when he was in TNA, Impact Wrestling, whatever they call themselves. Dude, Rockstar Spud, Drake Maverick, he's been small. He's been minuscule. Like, Lio Rush in street clothes is bigger than Drake Maverick. You see how small Lio Rush looks in street clothes, he's still bigger than Drake Maverick. Like, dude, if Drake Maverick had ever worked a promotion that had a World Heavyweight Championship, I still don't know if they would have gave it to him. Lio Rush is like a 2-time World Heavyweight Champion. Like, it's just the purpose of Lio Rush can go, and it could be believable. Because why else would he be a manager doing all the moves and flips and stuff that he does to get out of, the grasp of Owens and Elias? Again, I'm not saying Leo's supposed to be in this matchup with John Cena. Dude, you're trying to sell tickets. It's just, I also don't see John Cena getting the pin and winning if this is supposed to be like a canon event. And it's supposed to be a canon event because we have a number one contendership match for the WWE Championship.
When the last time we had one of those?
Exactly. And you know what's even weirder, Darnell? We say that, but once again, SmackDown is having some kind of match, is having some kind of tournament, so that we know for sure who's the number one contender and why. Flipping over to this real quick. Because we had our little talk in the beginning part of this episode, I'm just giving up WWE realizing that they have a world championship being defended on this show. I don't even care where they put it. That being said, Darnell, do you think whoever wins the number one contendership match is going to tell who wins the WWE Championship match and vice versa?
Yes.
Why do you
if we're
think
looking at the traditional WWE way, and which is why I look like a genius, because I just know what WWE thinks, but I really don't. I just go by what history tells me. The winner of these two matches, with whatever one comes first, is going to tell you who's going to win the next one. So if Daniel Bryan wins, Samoa Joe's going to win. If The Miz wins, AJ Styles is going to win, and vice versa. But if they think out the box like I do, maybe some crazy stuff happens in one of these matches, and all four guys get into the title picture, and all of them got a battle for it. If that was to happen, I have to believe Samoa Joe wins the WWE Championship because AJ Styles has to have a rematch. And doing so, Daniel Bryan wins, and The Miz costs him the match. And then all four of them get into it. That's just my thinking. Because I believe if you're going to keep the WWE title as the title of SmackDown, what better way to have all four of them, especially The Miz, and you know how The Miz do promos. Just imagine The Miz doing a promo for the WWE Championship.
I mean, believe it or not, I think that's the way this has to go. This has to end up being a triple or fatal four-way match. Because when you think about it, what have Daniel Bryan and The Miz done? Who have they beat except for each other for their next match to be a number one contendership match for the WWE Championship? Shinsuke's out here not even having opponents. You go from Shinsuke not even having opponents and not even having open challenges to Daniel Bryan and The Miz are fighting each other for like 5 months, and now one of them can go for the WWE Championship. Dude, it has to be a screw job. You have the WWE Championship where they're explicitly saying there has to be a winner. Then you have Daniel Bryan and The Miz in a number one contendership match.
And by the way, I know people said we're talking about lies after that hellacious boo that he got, but the hell, this generation is Samoa Joe.
Had AJ Styles at his house shook. Didn't even come to SmackDown. Had him paranoid.
Dude, Samoa Joe is on another level.
The weird thing is, when you really think about pro wrestling and you really think about everything, dude, Samoa Joe doesn't need the WWE Championship. He doesn't necessarily need to win. AJ Styles doesn't need to lose. But we're in a different era. This isn't the era where world champions can hold the belt for like 5 years. AJ's like, what is it, 500 days as champ? Over 500?
They got to come to the end at some point.
Yeah, like, dude, that's the thing. It's like, think about it. Yes. Actually, no. Like, dude, think about it. You mean to tell me that in a regular singles number one contender match, The Miz and Daniel Bryan are just going to magically stop bothering each other? That feud's going to end, and whoever wins that feud is going to feud with the WWE champion. And it's going to be a one-on-one champion. Dude, no! The weird thing is, Darnell, you like to pride yourself on thinking outside the box, but dude, this time that's not thinking outside the box. Because when you really look at it, like, this man went to this man's house when he wasn't there. Knocked on the door and asked for his wife and daughter. Ain't no championship wrestling match gonna just end this feud. And vice versa. Maurice pinned Brie. Daniel Bryan and The Miz did not pin each other. Maurice pinned Brie. Daniel didn't lose that match. And if Daniel loses against The Miz, it's probably going to be something dirty. Likewise, if The Miz loses against Daniel Bryan, then he's not going to take that. The Miz will not be able to mentally handle losing to Daniel Bryan when there was a world championship match on the line. Dude, that feud's not going to be over. It's not thinking outside the box to at least expect a triple threat match. That's what has to happen, doesn't it? At least a triple threat match. Because either one of these feuds ain't just going to end.
It's going to be... Those are two matches you have to mainly look for. And matter of fact, I think those were two of the 4 matches that are singles. Everything else is tag team.
Yeah, I mean, we'll go to one of the other singles matches, also a title match. There's no way Becky loses. I mean, I could understand one of the missions that they had with Charlotte, but dude, like, this can't be the Sasha Banks Charlotte Flair feud. Like, there's other ways to get Charlotte like 16 championships.
Yeah, they can't go that route.
Dude, like, it was...
So basically, hey, I gotta admit, Becky Lynch is thriving in this hero role.
Dude, like, it's weird. It's almost as if she had really ran her course as a babyface. Because what she's doing now is almost as if she was able to go into the room and be like, there's nothing else for me to do as a good guy. There is nothing else for me to do as this Becky.
From my point of view, I say it as, all right, Becky, you passed the babyface test. You didn't cheat. You were strapped. You handled you played the cards that was dealt to you. Now you're a heel. You can do whatever you want now.
Yeah, I mean, you came in, you got called up, you were in your little stable. You were the first SmackDown Women's Champion. You had a good run there. You never complained. You went out. You did what you did. Okay, it's time for a change. It's time to get you back going. It's like it's the old saying in WWE. You just have to wait your turn. It doesn't matter who you are. WWE, you have to wait your turn. And luckily, Becky was able to stick it out. Because I mean, this right here. That's another reason why I can't see Charlotte winning. Like, dude, you can't. This is too good. This is like Stone Cold Bret Hart good. She jumped Charlotte during a photo shoot, man. They put her foot on Charlotte and said, take a picture of me, take a picture of the champ. Dude, 10 years ago, there is no way the women's division would have done a segment like that. But then again, think about it. 10 years ago, did they have somebody who could do a segment like that?
And then came back later on and just disrespected Lana.
Just beat the brakes off of Lana. just didn't even make it look fair.
And I don't want to call words real quick, but speaking of Lana, I need more. Aiden English, you got to give me more. I need the whole story.
Aiden English is dastardly. For those who don't know, a little fun fact about Aiden English. He literally used to be on Broadway. Like Broadway for theater and stage acting. That's pretty much the Hollywood of stage acting, being on Broadway. So I'm not surprised English is being as good as he is. He was great in Rusev Day, part of the reason why it got so over. And he's killing it right now. But man,
no shirt on, Lana comes in like, yo, hold on, wait a minute. I need the whole story. No, we need the whole story. We need the whole story.
And dude, the crazy thing is, Mixed Match Challenge, they tried to address that, which is weird because Mixed Match Challenge clearly isn't in the same universe. So it was just weird because Lana and Rusev were dancing in the match and they were all happy and stuff. But bruh, that right there, it was.
Yo, I seen that joke. I seen when you posted that joke on Twitter. I'm like, what are y'all kicking somebody? Somebody trying to get kicked.
I mean,
I'm like, come on now. Rusev ain't finna do that, Dad. Why are y'all finna kick each other? I just know it.
We almost had a too cool spot, but I mean, yeah, so Aiden, I don't know if Aiden is ever gonna get a singles title. Because first off, it's what scenario and how would it work? But I mean, Aiden is just like Velveteen Dream. Velveteen and Aiden, I mean, they're working the WWE style. So they're not going to give you what you think you want as far as indie matches and Japan matches go. But, dude, they're characters. Aiden English broke up from a tag team, and he's in a feud, and he is hitting it out the park. Look at Jinder Mahal. Yes, Jinder Mahal had championships. Yes, Jinder Mahal wouldn't even be doing what he's doing now if it wasn't for him being WWE champion. But, dude, in WWE, look at Becky. When they give you something, you have to hit it out the park. Even Kurt Hawkins. Kurt Hawkins ain't complaining. He's turned losing over 200 straight matches into his character. So now, I'm like you. Aiden English went from somebody where he was in the vaudevillains and they were jobbing and they were barely getting TV time to Aiden English has me glued to my laptop. What happened now? Well, what happened after that? What's Rusev gonna do? What's Lana gonna do? It's one of those things where you're not gonna get any answers on Saturday, but it's definitely one of the reasons to tune on Tuesday. I mean, it's good, man. It's good.
And speaking of SmackDown, and getting back to the Super Showdown, I got a question because this is unusual, as we already know. So, do I kind of get booed or do they get cheered?
Ooh.
Because they're at home. They're the home country heels, should I say? Can't say hometown.
I mean, the weird thing is, it's the same thing as Buddy Murphy. They're the heels, but dude, they're like 3 of the first 4 Australians in WWE history. Emma's the other one. Like, it's weird because neither Emma, Buddy. Well, no. Buddy is the first and only. Buddy won the NXT Tag Team Championship. Buddy's the first and only Australian to ever win a championship. So he might get a lot of cheers in his match. But I don't know about the Iconics because, dude, when you think about it, like WWE fans, because WWE obviously isn't going to get affected by it in any way, WWE fans can do whatever the hell they want. It's just going to be weird if they boo against Naomi and Asuka because it's like, dude, it's Naomi and Asuka. But
at the same time, they're in Australia.
Dude, like seriously, like Australia is not just a country. It is a whole damn continent. There have only been 4 people from the damn continent. And 3 of them are in this show. How do you boo against them? This is the first time they're going to be competing at home on TV.
You know that place is going to be filled with a whole bunch of people.
Oh, dude, like this is literally the biggest pro wrestling event ever. Like I think even going back to the NWA days, I think this is the biggest event ever. I'm sure the NWA World Championship was defended at least once or twice in Australia, but dude, the WWE Championship is about to be defended. So I mean,
but with that being said, Australian people don't be mad at me, but I believe Asuka's going to win this match.
She has to. Like it's the Iconics. I don't think they're going to announce it this show. And if they do, it would be lame. But until they announce a tag team championship for the women's division, Asuka needs to get the pin in this match. Because the Iconics are a tag team in the women's division. Like it, until they announce a tag team championship, Asuka needs this pin. Naomi doesn't even need this pin. Like she'll get the win just by being on the tag team. Asuka needs to win this match.
And speaking of which, how long Cedric Alexander had that cruiserweight title?
Dude, it's overdue. Like, if you look at the entire history of the cruiserweight division, dude, babyface champions don't work. I wanted it to be Drew Gulak, but I wouldn't be mad at Buddy Murphy either. They need a heel as champion on 205 Live.
Heel champion winning in his home country.
In the most devious way possible.
If that happened, I would love to see the reaction of that crowd.
Dude, Cedric is good. He is. But it goes back to the argument that a lot of people are having. Cedric and a lot of the cruiserweights, especially the baby faces, if you notice the babyface cruiserweights on 205 Live, and even Leo Rush, because I think Leo Rush is still a heel, they're still doing that high-flying indie style. And some people want it, but when you think about NXT, when you think about Mixed Match Challenge, when you think about Raw, and when you think about SmackDown, which show do you really think is getting watched the least? Which show out of everything do you think people are saying, I'll pass? It's 205 Live. Like, it's not the psychology or just the fact of like, okay, WWE baby faces and WWE, like they smile. They're happy. They want to defend their championships. They want to do things the good way, the right way. But I mean, if this was a sport, that'd be cool. If there was press conferences every time after and journalists could say he wins the right way and stuff, and people were more open to the press being in wrestling, that'd be one thing. But 205 Live is a show on the WWE Network that people literally don't have to watch. There's no consequence to missing an episode of 205 Live. There's more consequence missing an episode of NXT than missing an episode of 205 Live. You're not missing nothing. You need a reason for people to watch. If anything, whether Buddy Murphy gets cheered or not, there has to be a title change just to get people to watch.
And the last SmackDown thing we need, should we really even talk about? It's the New Day in the bar. We already know what's coming to the table with them two.
Yeah, I mean, that's another match where I think that has the highest probability of a title change happening. I mean, it doesn't seem like this was a placeholder reign or a transitional champion reign, but I mean, dude, New Day are 5-time champions. When the New Day first started, nobody thought they were going to be 5-time champions. Hell, if you look on blogs and rumor sites, people thought they were going to break up like 2 years ago. So, I mean, New Day doesn't get hurt by losing this match. The Bar also become 5-time tag team champions if they win this match. So, I mean, neither team really gets hurt by losing. Neither team really gains a lot by winning, because how many heel tag teams are there for the New Day to face? Not a lot of people for the New Day to face right now. The Bar, there's a lot of people. There's some tag teams you can create. There's some teams that have been on the shelf that you could bring back. There are some people you could call up. It's a lot more baby faces to work with. So if we were doing picks, I'd have to pick the Bar, just because it just makes sense for the tag team division. There's nothing really for a face team to do.
I don't have a pick. I just want them to do what they always do, put on the show.
Hopefully, because dude, it's 5 a.m. There shouldn't be a kickoff show. It's 5 a.m. It's early enough. Ain't no way people are waking up at 4 a.m. just to watch people talk on a panel.
Now,
so at least
good stuff.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to be the first to reiterate what I said months ago. Nikki Bella, I'm planning on Nikki Bella to do something around her Rousey on Saturday.
She has to. Like, because another thing that's boring to me is a babyface Nikki Bella. Brie, I can understand. Brie's with Daniel Bryan. Brie was in a match with, Maurice and them. Like, Brie being a babyface, I can get. But dude, babyface Nikki Bella just seems like she just be there. She literally just seems like she be there. Like, Nikki's one of those people that gotta be a heel. Her and Randy Orton are two people where it's like they gotta be heels. It's almost like they don't know what to do when they're babyfaces.
Mind you, Alexa Bliss is facing Trish.
Evolution, that's been announced months ago.
Mickie James is facing Alita.
That was announced about a month ago.
As far as we know, Nia Jax and Ember Moon are a tag team.
Yeah, and
you have to know if they are doing this tag team thing, the Riot Squad won't be involved in it.
Yeah, that's probably gonna be their match.
And I'm pretty sure they're not ready to push Ruby Riot for singles.
Even though they have made her the leader, nah, she ain't going singles.
So that begs the question: who is Ronda Rousey facing at Evolution? Because she has a title match, but she just doesn't have an opponent.
You also gotta think how much she squashed Alicia Fox. Like, that's out too.
Insert Nikki Bella heel turn.
There's literally no other option. Damn train about to be Dana Brooke.
And speaking of turns, does one person turn on his team or do two people turn on their team? And what I mean, the pack of Dolph Ziggler, Braun Strowman, Drew McIntyre versus The Shield.
I think it's too early for a turn.
On either side?
It's too early. Because when you think about it, this is the Shield's second 6-man tag.
Okay, if you say it's too early, and I go and I agree with you on that one per se, the Shield wins this match.
Yeah, because what consequence is there? You have the Intercontinental Champion and the World Champion. You're supposed to beat the Tag Team Champions.
Now, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let people, we're gonna run over time, but y'all we'll be all right. I watched a YouTube video from WWE exclusive. Drew McIntyre stated that the WWE doesn't need the Shield. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they don't need the Shield. Dean could have been back on SmackDown like he said. Seth and Roman ain't got to do a damn thing together. The Shield is a stable when all three are together. But look at how the Shield has been portrayed and presented this go-around. They'll come out by themselves in their own ring gear with their own music. And then every once in a while, they'll come out in their Shield gear with their Shield music. Dude, that's just... They don't need the Shield. Now, Drew meant it in a different way because it's Drew and he's cutting a promo. But, dude, like, they don't need the Shield. The Shield's like dangerously becoming close to DX.
I mean, I think he literally meant what he said. Because he gave Shield power. He said, yeah, the Shield been on top for who knows how long. Well, he said, but at this moment in time, there's other people here now.
I mean, that's true. Dude, like, the Shield is almost becoming the Generation X. When Shawn Michaels and Triple H have their tag team match against Undertaker and Kane, because we know that's where that's going, do they need to be DX or can they just be Shawn Michaels and Triple H? That's how that is. Like, you don't need to be the Shield. And you don't need to be a trio. You help each other when you need help. And then you go about your business. That's basically what they're doing now.
I kind of felt some Dean Ambrose saying he could have been Intercontinental Champion. He could have been Universal Champion. I'm like,
what stood out to me the most. Yeah, what stood out to me the most is when he said I could have been on SmackDown doing my own thing. That's what got to me the most, because it's like, you know what? You sure could. Because Dean Ambrose was the first WWE champion after the brand split. Dean Ambrose, you can't tell me Dean Ambrose, if a WWE shakeup happens, isn't immediately number one contender for the WWE championship. Dean Ambrose gives them another baby face. Because think about it, dude. Like, Daniel Bryan's still doing suicide dives. He's still doing the diving headbutt. Like, Daniel Bryan is still wrestling the exact same way he's always wrestled. Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know what's going on backstage. We don't know what conversations Daniel has when he goes back through the curtain. But the past 2 times Daniel Bryan has had a championship, he literally had to give it up right after he won it. Like, Ambrose goes to SmackDown, he immediately becomes another babyface you can give a world championship to besides AJ Styles, which they need bad. So, I mean, it's everything Dean said was true. And since we know how WWE works and the promos are written, that makes it even more interesting. I still think Saturday is too early. It's even weirder because they haven't announced how Survivor Series is going to be formatted because of the Saudi Arabia show, but
Crown Jewel. And Roman Reigns won't defend the Universal Championship until then.
Talk about how you felt real quick about when Baron Corbin came out and stopped the championship from being defended and basically said no championship is going to be defended and that the Universal like, why would a heel general manager protect the baby faces from losing their belts?
I still don't get it. To this day, I still don't. I can't even give you a WWE type of answer on why he did.
Like Baron Corbin's supposed to do what's best for business, but you just
Baron Corbin is a heel who protected a face from possibly losing his championship to a heel. Yes, that whole sentence don't make sense, but that was exactly what happened.
And then Roman Reigns still beat Dolph clean.
Damn near split him in half.
It's like, bro, Roman still won. He could have defended the title. I mean, isn't one of the things about Roman Reigns that we're supposed to be so happy for is that we have a defending champion? Isn't one of the reasons why Brock Lesnar was supposed to be the bad guy in that feud because he was never around?
When you said that, you gave me an answer. Roman Reigns said he's going to be a fighting champion. Pretty much, the look for Roman Reigns is a man who's willing to do whatever and however to show he's the man, and in a way to get approval from the crowd. Because the crowd loves when you have a fighting champion. It don't matter where you at, what time, what place, he's ready to defend the championship. But what's one way to get the fans against you when you're a GM? Nah, I don't care how you feel about yourself. I don't care how you feel about being the champion. You ain't defending the title until I tell you can defend the title.
And which is basically what he said. That's what he said. It's just, yeah. So like,
in a way, at the same time, it don't make sense but at the same time, he actually doing his job.
Yeah, like that's literally the explanation. If you want an explanation, that's pretty much what you're gonna get, and it makes sense. It makes sense,
but it doesn't.
Yeah, no, it don't at all. But I mean, so we're pretty much establishing, like, we both agree that it's too early for somebody to turn on their team, and we both pretty much agree that, like, if no championships are on the line, you got the Universal Champion and Intercontinental Champion, and somebody who could easily be number one contender for any championship. You guys should win. Is that what we're saying?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Ain't even that. It's the Shield, man. The Shield do not lose these matches.
Yeah, like, dude, like, the Shield aren't still undefeated. Wait. What trios matches have they lost? Have they lost a trios match?
No. The reason why the Shield broke up the first time is because they beat Evolution.
But no. Like, yeah. You're right. So, yeah. Dude, they're still undefeated in the six-man tag teams then. Damn.
The only time the Shield lost as a group is because that's when the Authority, when Triple H and Stephanie was running the show, set the entire locker room, everybody in the Shield beat up the go against them. I think it was like a 12-on-3 match. And it was an elimination match. And the Shield didn't win that match.
I thought they did win it.
No, they didn't. They lost.
So that's the only loss the Shield has as a trio.
Pretty much. You had the whole locker room go against them.
So technically, even still, because, I mean, that's technically a handicap match. So when you're talking straight up six-man tag, like, they're undefeated.
They don't lose.
Oh, well, hell.
They beat the Wyatt family. And
No. The one time where Seth got out the ring, did they lose that time? When Seth was teasing turning before and they had the Shield Summit. Did match?
No. When Seth turned, they didn't nobody see it coming.
No. Seth was teasing turning, and he got off the apron when Dean wanted a tag, and he walked up the ramp and left Roman and Dean out to dry against the Wyatts. Then the Wyatts win that match?
I got to go back and find out. I don't think so.
Okay. Either way, so, like, that goes to, okay, so we know how things have been going with the WWE Championship. We know about the Shield match. What with the historic match, with this special attraction? First off, where do they put this match? Second off, is this match just for the tag team match? Is the tag team match even going to be a real thing?
Man, they saying the last time ever, so.
Well, I mean, they said last time ever with John Cena and Triple H. I mean, John Cena and The Rock. Then they had the championship match the next WrestleMania.
Actually, they say once in a lifetime. But when you say last time ever, you mean this is it. Like, y'all two can't be in the ring no more together.
And a singles match.
So, now the thing is, will everybody be focused on this match, first of all?
Yeah, like, it all depends on where you put it. Because remember, John Cena and Triple H.
No. You misconstrue what I'm saying. A lot of people was talking about Shawn Michaels. Why they was talking about Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels has no hair. That threw everybody for a loop. They weren't talking about how Undertaker and Kane destroyed DX. They was looking like, what happened to Shawn Michaels' hair? So I asked this question again. Will the people be focused on this mess as they should?
Is that even being a question a consequence of them relying on 4 dudes that are well over 40 to help draw at a show where it's like, we've pretty much agreed that this is just a WWE exclusive event?
I mean, you pretty much have 4 Hall of Famers.
But
even though we don't know if Triple H is going to get thrown in the Hall of Fame because he's in the role now.
well, when you think about it, Triple H technically is a Hall of Famer as both an executive and a performer at this point. I mean, NXT, the only thing left for NXT to do is get on TV itself.
But
I mean, so it's
Kane's a Hall of Famer. Undertaker's a Hall of Famer. Shawn Michaels a Hall of Famer.
Trips can technically be like a 3 or 4 time Hall of Famer. Dude, like DX should have got in all by now. The Click, even though the Click wasn't an official stable, they should get in for their contributions to the business. Him as an individual, hell, Evolution. Like Triple H can be like a 5-time Hall of Famer.
Speaking of Evolution, what gave them the idea to bring Evolution to SmackDown?
Dude, I'm surprised Batista said yeah. That's another, like, we're doing the SmackDown 1000 episode and Evolution's going to come back, but Evolution was defiantly Raw.
Evolution never made an appearance on SmackDown.
Evolution was Raw in every sense and fashion. You had a womanizer in Randy Orton, a womanizer in Ric Flair, a womanizer in Triple H. Like, everything that was Monday Night Raw in the Ruthless Aggression era was Evolution. Orlando Jordan could use a check. The Basham brothers could use a check. JBL can take a day off. What happened to the cabinet? Why haven't you announced John Cena? Where's Mattitude? Where's Shannon Moore? And where's Shannon Moore? I mean, dude, like,
Brian Kendrick.
Yes, like, what? Give me some more, like Edge and Christian, Edge and Rey Mysterio.
They said Evolution coming to SmackDown, but they ain't said nothing about the man who actually helped create SmackDown.
Ain't it?
Where's the man who created SmackDown?
The SmackDown, dude. SmackDown literally, he branded SmackDown, the SmackDown Hotel, the SmackDown Know Your Role, like shut your mouth games. Like, dude, The Rock branded. The Rock is the reason why SmackDown got off the ground as a TV show. SmackDown would not have even gotten off the floor as a TV show if it wasn't for The Rock. Like, dude, Kurt.
But we bringing a stable from Raw to SmackDown 1000.
I think this is one of those things where it's like some people who are much closer than we are to this sport would say shut up and just enjoy it. Shut up and like enjoy the moment and stop complaining so much. And other people would say, but Evolution was on Raw. Evolution was not the PG era debacle that you saw go up against the Shield. Evolution was Raw. Ric Flair, Randy Orton, Batista, they were Raw. They were coming down in helicopters, driving up in limos, riding Ferraris. They were Monday Night Raw.
Dude.
Dude, Evolution was barely on SmackDown in the PG era. In the big scheme of things, Evolution was only around for like 5 weeks.
Anyway, people saying Triple H have to win this match. Nope, Undertaker wins.
Oh, definitely.
Triple H doesn't. What does Triple H need to prove?
Dude, you have Triple H who works for the company every day. You have Shawn Michaels who's about to be a manager. Kane's a man. Like, dude, like, when you think of all of the pieces, Undertaker's got to win. First off, you're paying the Undertaker and wasting his bump count to be at this show. The fact that Undertaker's even at this show, he has to win. The cost financially and the cost on Undertaker's body and how much you can use him, you have to let him win. This isn't as bad as Triple H Sting, but this is still up there where it's like, okay, Trips, you don't need to win. You really don't need to win this match.
That's it. And yes, we'll be up 5 o'clock in the damn morning covering this damn show.
Whatever the hell it is. So on that note, let me think of something wise to say. Yeah, I got nothing this week. If you wake up at 5 a.m., cool. If you don't, it'll be on demand. The beauty of the WWE network, and the reason why I refuse to call this the P word, because if you do decide to wake up at 5 a.m., I just have that feeling. So if you wake up, cool. If you don't, cool. Congratulations to Cody Rhodes. He's now a champion in 3 different major promotions. He's a Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champion, an IWGP United States champion, and the NWA World Heavyweight champion. Congrats to you. His contract and a lot of the Bullet Club's contracts are up January 1st. I hope to God he doesn't come to WWE, but if he does, good on you. You proved everything you wanted to prove when you left. Later.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.